The Sports Source is brought to you by Fast Frame, with exciting Vol sports prints now available.
This is The Sports Source, presented by Bill Hotz and Associates, and by Renewal by Andersen, with your host, John Pennington.
Good Sunday morning. Welcome into The Sports Source, presented today by Bill Hotz and Associates. Tennessee loses 38-12 at number 2 Georgia. They showed some fight. That impressed their coach. That is good. They lost their 11th straight SEC game. That is not so good. We'll debate how good things were in terms of a good loss yesterday, or good moments in a bad loss. We'll discuss all that, and we got a ton of different topics. We got about 20 topics to cover with our usual 9-man panel. So let's just get right into this thing. First segment of our show, brought to you by Bill Hotz and Associates. Folks, the law is on your side. If you are injured in an accident by a careless driver, the law allows you compensation, and the other driver is supposed to have insurance. Bill Hotz and Associates know the law. They know how to help you get the compensation you deserve if you're injured, lose wages due to missed time at work, medical bills, etc. Bill Hotz and Associates. All right, want to welcome in panel number 1 for today. We have VFL's Brian Randolph and Will Overstreet right here, and then from WNML AM and FM down there we have Jimmy Himes and Josh Ward. Thanks for being here, gentlemen. Tennessee loses 38-12, as I mentioned. They fought to the point that Jeremy Pruitt got emotional after the game, praised the fight he saw from his team, said that because of that fight, his team's heading in the right direction. A lot of people were very impressed by the show of emotion he had. At the same time, I have to admit, we're looking at bright sides in Tennessee's 3rd consecutive loss by 26 points to a Power 5 team. West Virginia, Florida, Georgia all beat them by 26 points, which even Chuck couldn't have drawn up that line before the season started. Where do you go on this one? I mean, I don't think anybody here is going to be applauding a loss. You're going to hear that from people. Oh, so you're satisfied with the loss now? No. But at the same time, I do think you have to recognize where a team is, and if it takes a baby step forward. I thought I saw some baby steps yesterday. Now, they're going to have to make good on it, but I thought there were some improvements.
I have to agree. I saw some improvement. It's going to sound funny giving up 38 points, but I did think the defense gave us a chance to win. We were one big play from making it a close game with a fumble, just happened to go the other way, but we gave a lot of rushing yards, gave a little bit loose on our passing defense, but we bent. We didn't break, so no explosive plays. So I got to say that was a win for us defensively.
To me, I was most impressive by where you guys used to play. I thought you got a very young secondary on the road, first real road game for a lot of those DBs back there. Oh, yeah. And they were helped by a pass rush, too, Darrell Taylor in that group. But I thought defensively, the pass defense looked like a step forward.
Pass defense got better, but I tell you what, on the edge of the run, stopping the run, anytime they wanted to get to the edge, the tight end was able to maul the outside linebacker and really did a great job for Georgia yesterday. This team did improve. I did see improvement. I think what you're also seeing is the coach, earlier this week said if they play as good as they can play, I'll be happy. And I think that's what you're seeing is they're playing as good as they can play. That's still 26-point loss to Georgia.
Right.
So, you continue to want to see that, and this is how you build a foundation to a program when you don't have the talent yet to really compete. So they took the right steps they needed to take. That still doesn't get us any closer to, some wins.
When you say they're building a foundation, would you say they're doing it brick by brick?
No, I would not.
Jimmy and Josh, your thoughts on what you saw yesterday. Did you think you saw improvement? Was it good enough, or are you tired of talking about baby steps with this program?
Well, I thought it was improvement, not only from the Florida game from the week before, but from the Georgia game a year ago when Georgia beat them 41-0 and ran for almost 400 yards. So I thought Tennessee played better. I did like them coming back from a 24-0 deficit and making it 24-12. It was a 12-point game with less than 4 minutes left. Georgia punched it in and got another touchdown. So I thought that was improvement, but there's still a long way to go. The run game wasn't very good. The first down production wasn't very good. And the first quarter wasn't very good either. But you still had some improvement.
Josh?
Yeah, and I would say Tennessee's showing it's a team that needs some breaks to go its way, but I thought Tennessee did a better job of putting itself in position. Now, the break went the other way when Darrell Taylor's able to knock the ball loose and Georgia runs in for a touchdown. That probably felt like so Tennessee for Tennessee fans watching that. But in the Florida game, Tennessee was hurting itself. Tennessee was at least doing some things to try to put itself in a better position and took advantage when Georgia had a couple of penalties to set Tennessee up for a chance at its first score. Tennessee needs more of that to go its way, but the effort that Tennessee put in to try to make that happen, that's at least a good sign.
Tennessee definitely behind the 8 ball in terms of talent. I think that's why, Tennessee comes, they claw back into it, and then Georgia just kind of, oh, wait, we fell asleep there for a second. Let's slam the door back shut. But you did give yourself a little bit of a chance there. The problem is you're also snake bit. The play you mentioned, Georgia should have messed up an extra point there. They're able to kick it flat-footed. Tennessee forced 4 fumbles yesterday, recovered none of them. So I'm not saying that it's just bad luck that's beating the Vols. That's not how you lose 11 straight games. It ain't luck, and it ain't the refs either. But at the same time, this team has some bad luck things that go along with the issues, which I think you're right. You're going to have to start getting some breaks to win. And right now, you're finally putting yourself in a position to maybe compete, and you're still not getting the breaks. So you need everything to come together. Let's take a look at some numbers here. A little Edvard Munch for you. A couple of weeks ago, it was Motley Crue. We're just a cultural cornucopia here with the Scream. Tennessee's last 11 SEC games. For those out there saying there's no improvement, okay, they would point to this graphic where the last 5 SEC games you played, it's all double-digit defeats. 33 to Missouri, 20 to LSU, 18 to Vanderbilt, and then 26 and 26. But this is where I'm going with this. Let's show the next one. If the Vols go 0-8, which last week we talked about being a real possibility, that would put you, Will is hiding his eyes, that would put you on pace for a 17-game SEC losing streak. That would tie Kentucky from 2012 to 2014. There are only 5 worse streaks than that in history of the league, according to the SEC Media Guide and my bleary eyes. But anyway, you look at that. From what you saw yesterday, do you feel better about Tennessee's chances of getting a win in the SEC?
Yeah, I definitely feel better. Like I said, our defense stood up a little bit yesterday, made some improvements, got some pass rush against a good offensive attack in Georgia. And I got to see a little bit of the Vanderbilt game. They didn't look too good yesterday, so I have to say Vandy's our best bet right now.
Okay. Do you guys do you change your view of the remaining SEC games at all after what you saw yesterday?
I think you have a chance to beat one, South Carolina or Vanderbilt. Yeah, probably more likely Vanderbilt is your game to beat. I feel better about your chances in that game to win it. Yeah. Beyond that, I don't. It's not like they took 2 steps forward. I think you're only going to get one of those games if you get one.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat because Vanderbilt struggled to beat Tennessee State. They beat them 31-27, and Tennessee State was driving late. So that tells me how vulnerable Vanderbilt can be. And South Carolina losing to Kentucky, while I still think that's a really hard game because of the venue and where it comes on the schedule, I would say Vanderbilt's the best opportunity to win South Carolina second.
Yeah, same answer for me. I would say look at Tennessee where it is right now. The effort's still there. The fight, which Jeremy Pruitt talked about, is still there. But South Carolina or Vanderbilt, another thing that has to happen, Tennessee has to hold up physically. I still wonder about the depth as the season goes along.
And then, Callaway, it looked like a concussion for all the world yesterday. You hope that with the open date, you'll be able to come back. But also, I'm imagining that Jarrett Garantano probably could heal some bruises on this open date as well. So, yeah, injuries are one thing to watch. I will admit, I came out of yesterday's game thinking if you play like that the rest of the way, and there's no guarantee they'll play with that effort the rest of the way, but if they do, I do feel better about their chances of snaring an SEC game. I thought they would get one anyway, just due to odds at some point, but I do feel better. I thought yesterday was the best they've looked this year, certainly. All right, and again, not trying to praise it. It's a little like this. Everybody cheers the baby's first step. Well, when the baby's 26 years old, nobody says, "Oh, he got out of bed." So baby steps. You're young in this program with this coach leading it. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about penalties. You can blame talent on Butch Jones. Hard to blame dumb penalties on Butch Jones. We'll see what they think about, what the guys think about some of the goofball penalties you saw yesterday out of Tennessee. And also, we'll talk about the quarterback situation. Is it being managed properly? Are those quarterbacks being used properly? Is Garantano being told to do the right things? Come on back on the Sports Source.